Okay. So yesterday we discussed till data model entity types and attributes, right? So today we'll continue that one. Um, Still we are in the process of getting the server. Mostly by today, like end of the day, we'll get the server. Everyone can see my screen, right?
Yes,
Yes,
Sadhana.
Sadhana.
Okay. Give me a moment. I'm just logging into the server. Okay. So I'm going to the T code is MDG IMG, and in that general settings, data modeling, edit data model. Okay. So yesterday we discussed about data model, what is a data model, and what are all the standard data models we have, and what are entity types, attributes, and active area in the access class. And also we discussed about reuse and flex mode. So let me recall reuse and flex mode. So what is reuse and what is flex? So reuse is, so when you make your data model as reuse mode, then it will store the data from staging area to active tables. Using which method? Like using
Access
active
class.
area
This class.
access class. Okay. So in the flex mode, it will be in the staging area only. There will be no active area. Okay, so if you want to move your data to active tables, you have to do the configurations like SUA configuration or any other remote function call. Using that, you can update your active database tables. Okay, so like in the standard data models, finance uses the flex mode, and the material and the BP uses the reuse mode. Okay, so for material we have the active area material, and here uh, when you go to the reuse active areas, you can find the access class for that particular active area. Okay, so like this you can maintain for your custom data models as well. Today we'll discuss about business object type. Okay, so for each entity type you will be having a business object type. You can create your own business object type. Okay, so I am going to the entity types, and here for entity I am going to the material entity type. For material, let's check the business object type. So here we have the business object types 194, that is product. So this is for the material entity type. We have business object type as 194. Okay, so here with this you can find. And next let's check for Marcy. Do we have any business object type? So this is the entry type for, these are the entity types for Marcy table. So I'm going to business object type, and here there is no business object type for this, but for the main entity type material we have the business object type 194, that is for product. Okay, so here you can see what are all the business types available, business object types available. So for each master data, we have different types of business object types. So here for cost center, we have 158. For customer, we have different. For business partner, we have different. And like that, we have different business object types for business, different materials. Sorry, different entity types. So you can maintain based on your entity type and based on your requirement, you can maintain your business object type and you can create your own business object types as well. Okay. So here for the material, we have 194. So let me, so this is the business object type codes. So here with this path, we can maintain the business object type codes. So here, if you want, you can maintain your own business object type using the new entries option. Let me create one. So Z test I am giving test business object type. So let's see what are all the, like how it got created in this one. Okay. So here we can see Z test has been stored in this business object type course. So if you want to use this one for your entity type, you can assign this to your entity type using the edit data model. Here you can assign. So let me go to one Z table material master. I am going to this ZB data model, that is a custom data model. So I am going to the entity types and here we have the ZMARA entity type. And for this entity type, I am going to define a object type. So here I am clicking on the new entries. And from this, I am taking the business object type Z test. Okay, I am saving it. Save the changes. So it will ask for the TR. And once that is done, you can go back and click on the activate button. It is taking some time. Just wait. Okay, so it's activated successfully. And what is the use of this business object type is it is helpful in the UI modeling of our data model. So when we do the UI modeling, so now we are seeing the NWBC screen, right? So to create that NWBC screen for like creating that screen, we use the business object types. So this business object type Z test holds the information about the data. So information about entity type ZMARA and all the attributes related to ZMARA entity type. So wherever you use that business object type, it holds the that particular entity type details. Okay. So okay. So let me go to the other one what we have. So data model contains all these information, like what is the data model name, description, active area. If it is a reuse mode, you have to maintain the active area, and package, username, and active version. This should be same every time. Okay. And we have entity types, and entity types we have type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, that is changeable via change request, changeable without without mdg, and not changeable via change request, and changeable via other entity type. Okay, so the last one, type for entity, is dependent on other entity type. Okay, so if you want to use that, you cannot directly change the type for entity. You have to, it will be derived from the other entity type. Okay, so if you have type for entity, then you have to maintain the relationship. Okay, so here let's see, for type 4, here we have the type for entity, and if we have any type for entity, we have to maintain the relationships. Okay, so here let me go to other material, let me open. Oh, let me open the Marcy basic. Okay, data model, the relationships. Sorry. So here data model, entity types, marks the basic. Let me take this one and go to relationships. Okay. Yeah, sorry for that. So here we have all the relationship for data model Okay. So here you can see relationship types as referencing, foreign key relationship, leading, and qualifying relationship. Okay. So the referencing is nothing but the from entity is the referencing entity type for the two entity. So here Marcy store is referring to the ABCIN entity type. So let me take with material entity type. So here we have material in the from entity type. Okay, and this is this relationship you can maintain, any name you can maintain. Okay, and this two entity type is for which entity type you want to maintain the relationship. Okay, so what are all the relationship types we have in mdg is referencing relationship, foreign key relationship, leading, and qualifying. So mainly we use referencing, leading, and qualifying. In rare scenarios we use the foreign key relationship. Okay, and the cardinality, like you want it to 0 to n, or 1 to n, or 1 to 1, you can maintain it based on your like requirement. So here what is referencing what is a referencing entity relationship type. So if you want to you have some employee data in your main entity type. Let's say employee data in your main entity type, and you have other information like address of that particular employee. So in this case, your relationship will be referencing. And next, if you want, give me a minute. Second. Okay. Mm, okay. So if you were okay, so if you are referring to the from entity type, then you can maintain the referencing relationship type. And if so here we have the Marcy basic. So here this material entity holds the material information like Mara related information. And here the Marcy basic holds the information related to MARC table like the plant details, plant basic plant details. Okay. So here in this case, the basic plant details for this Marcy basic to maintain this one, material will be the leading entity. So without material, there will be no Marcy basic. Okay. So in that scenarios, you can maintain it as leading entity. And let's take for the qualifying. Qualifying means, so um, if you want to view your display your uh, output in the list form, not the form. Let me show you that. So when we go to NWBC screen, okay. So in the NWBC screen, when you open the change request or any create material or anything, you will be seeing one window, right? Like form window and list window you will be seeing. So let me open this NWBC, and here I am going to the search material. Okay. So here we are seeing material description, material type, base unit of measure, all this in this like table format, right? So this we call as list window. So if you want to display your entity type values as list window, then you have to maintain one qualifying relationship for that. So here, based on the search criteria, so if you give the material number here, it will display the that particular material numbers here. So here, this is the qualifying for this particular material entity, we can say. So this is the main entity, like from entity type, and based on this, it will give the qualifying values. So in this case, you can give your relationship as the qualifying entity, qualifying relationship. Okay. So next we have is foreign key. So if you want to, if you have any uh, particular key relation you want to maintain, it is just like the normal foreign key relationship we have in normal uh, uh, languages like SQL or like that only. So here, if you want to make your uh, uh, like any field of your from entity type with to entity type maintain any relationship, you can put the foreign key relationship, and based on that relationship key value, it will maintain the relationship. Okay. So here in this scenario, let's take like material has the material number as the key field, and in Marcy basic also we have the material number as a key field. So if you want to put a relationship between these two, you can make it as foreign key relationship, and it will work based on the key values. Okay. So we have the relationship types we have to maintain, and from entity type to entity type, and here relationship, you can maintain any name you want to. And the cardinality means, here you can see for one material we can maintain multiple plans data. So here the cardinality is 1 to n. Okay. So like that we can define our own. And okay, so here you can see the referencing entity types, sorry, relationship type, and a qualifying relationship type. So here, uh, the mean. Okay. So here unit, this is the unit, and this is the unit of measure related entity. So this entity will get the values from the from entity type QTE unit. So whatever you maintain in the QTE unit, only based on those details it will give in the unit of measure. Okay. Okay. So like that you can maintain your relationship types. And we have the description, data element, and these are not that important, but you have to maintain the from entity type to entity type, and what is the relationship type, and cardinality you have to maintain for your relationship types. Okay. So any doubts in this?
Yeah, Sadhna, can you explain that
Yes, yes.
qualifying type one more time?
Okay.
Like you said
So
that it is used like how do you see the value there, right? Like list
yes.
or
So if you want to view your window, so we call these as windows. Okay. So if you want in the UA, so if you want to view your UABB as list window, then you can maintain your relationship as a qualifying. That means based on this input you give, it will display the information in this one, in this list, like the entry type. Okay. Let me show you. So here Display change request. I am clicking. Otherwise, I will go to my change request. So here we have a options called created by me and from. So this is different window and this is different window. Okay. So based on these inputs you are giving, it is displaying the values in this window, like change request number, description, and all this. So here in this scenario, this is the qualifying relationship. This entity type is maintaining the qualifying relationship with the with this entity type. Okay. So I think I have not answered properly, but um,
No, it's okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So let's take for qualifying you have to it is dependent on the from entity type. Okay. So it will take the input from the from entity type only. So based on that you will get the values. You cannot maintain for the qualifying you cannot directly maintain your values.
Okay.
Okay, so then we have entity type to be used by business object types. So for material, we have the business object type 194. And for this business object type, the main entity type is the material entity type. Okay. So here the data model is data model and the entity type is material. So this business object type will be used when you work with the UI modeling. So after data modeling, will uh, discuss the UI modeling. So there we can go into the business object type more detail. So business object type is mainly used for the UI modeling. Okay. So for each business object type, there will be a entity type maintained with the data model. Okay. So these are all the standard business object types we have. You can go through this with the path entity type to be used for business object types. And you can see what are all the entity types maintained for the business object types. For which business object type, which what entity type is maintained. Okay, next we have internal key assignment and authorization entity types. These we'll discuss in the next class. Okay, so okay, so uh, let's create one new data model, custom data model. Okay, so I'm just going to the edit data model and clicking on the new entries. I'm putting the data model name as ZZ. Um, Test. I'll create it for flex mode, so I'll not give any active area. Okay, so now I'm selecting my data model and clicking on the save button. Save changes. Okay, now my data model has been created. And let's create the entity types for this data model. So new entries, and my entry type is let's say employee, and type I'll give type 1 for this. This is my main entity type, so I'm giving the type 1, that is changeable via change request, and no addition required in this case, and key cannot be changed, no internal. Yes, this is fine. And language, and here max medium text length I'll give 40, and attachments, yeah, I think this is fine. And field, let me take one field, Z employee, or Z employee ID I am taking. Okay. So I have created employee, and in this write, I'll create the attributes here. So I'm going to new, and employee ID I'll give, and this is my key field, and I'll take the data element Z employee ID. I think I have this. Okay, this is a required entry field, and this is employee ID. Next, I'll take name, and it's character 20, employee name. Clicking on the save. Okay, so now I have my entity type 1 entity type for my data model. I'm clicking on the save button. Okay, so now I'm activating this data model. So when you activate your data model, it will generate the structures for your entity types. Okay, so we discussed about staging tables and active tables, right? So it will generate the tables and structures. Okay, so let me check the syntax. Activate. I think some issue with the server. Let me put the prefix. The in packages we have. Or let me give ZMDG. Prefix also ZMDG. Okay. So entity types or description, employee, entity, and activate. Okay. So now, okay. So why it didn't take that is because I haven't uh, earlier I have not maintained the prefix for this data model to store the to create to generate the structures and the tables. So now it created the data model, activated it, and it generated the structures. So now I have to generate the structures. Now the data model is activated. Now I have to generate the structures, right? So for that I have to go to generate data model specific structures. So once you click on the generate for your data model, it will generate the staging structures for your data model. So now I am going to the structures. So here you have employee with the PDF form, all these you have. So now I am selecting all this and generate selected structures. So now it has created these structures in the backend database. So let's check. So we have SAP ABAP programs to view the structures. Okay. So to check that, we have to go to the SC38T code. /o SC38. Okay. So here you can find USMD underscore data underscore model. So this is the ABAP editor transaction code SC38. So USMD underscore data underscore model is the program which gives the structures for the data model. Okay. So it's too slow. Okay. So now I am executing it. So here you have to give your data model. So I am giving ZZ. So it will give the list of the generated tables. So these four table, it generated these four tables. That is check table, text table, and here I have clicked on the attachments, right? While creating, let me go to MDG IMG. MDG IMG. Data modeling. Edit data model. Our data model is ZZ. Entity types. So here I have clicked on the attachments checkbox. So it created the tables for the attachments as well. So attachments, descriptive attributes, and the contents. For to store those information, it has generated the tables. Okay, so these are the table names. You can just open any of the table using. To view the table, what is the T code? To view the table data, like the table records, what is the T code?
C16.
Okay, so SE16N. So you can see with these information, it has created the tables. Like this is for ZZ, the data model, and the check table for entity employee. Okay, so here we have employee ID, active or inactive, and some other fields. These are like this will generate automatically. So whatever the attributes we maintain, the key fields, it will generate the tables based on the key fields and the required fields. Okay. So here we have employee ID, and the other tables we have are this one. Let's see what are all the fields it generated. Okay. So with language, the attribute in entity type attribute, and the active inactive, obsolete, and the description. This is for the description of the entity related information. And next, this is text table. Okay, with this only you can understand. And next is attachments. So here you have the employee ID attribute and the timestamp, active, inactive, and other fields like user, file type, and length of the file, description, language, comment, link, and absolute. So for the next table, you have the employee ID, the key attribute, timestamp, active, inactive, and the file and absolute field. So these are all staging tables, not the active tables. So these are staging tables. So whenever you do any adjustments or any changes to your data model, you have to generate your structures. So then your database, like staging tables, will get updated, like structures and the tables will get updated, and it will be in use. Okay, so to generate the structures, so once whenever you do any adjustments, you have to use these two programs. One is USMD underscore adjust underscore staging. So this is the program to do the adjustment to the staging tables. Okay, so I am executing this program and giving the data model name and executing it. So it will adjust if there are any changes, like when you do any changes to your data model, and when you activate it, uh, after that, if you do this, if you execute this program with your data model, it will adjust all the master data changes related to that particular data model. Okay, and then we have other program, USMD underscore adapt BRF. So this is to refresh the BRF plus catalogs after the data model activation. Okay. So ZZ, I'm executing it. So by executing these two tables, these two programs, it will generate the new structures, and it will adjust the master data changes to the data model. Okay, and BRF plus. Okay. So these are all the tables, staging tables created for our entity type. Okay, so let's check here. Let me go to the data model specific structures. Okay, so here we have structures also generated for each entity, like for the entity with the usage. So here you have PDF, and here you can see the various list. We have PDF based forms, SMT mapping for replication, mapping of reuse active area, data replication framework, search. Like this, we have different types of structures generated for our entity type. So we have different usage for different types of these structures. So whenever you do any SMT mapping is, so when you do any adjustments to your data model, when you want, then you have to map your data model with the actual database tables. So then you use the SMT mapping. Okay, so it has different usages. So based on the usage it will generate the structures. So let me open this pp employee. So I'm going to the t code sc11 to view the structures. So data type will give the structure, data element, and the table type. Okay, so here I am giving star mdg is my prefix, star pp star, so no pp is required. Employee I am giving employee star. Let's see what are all the structures it generated. Okay, so with zz, our data model, let me put that in the this one, zz structures. So it generated these 22 structures in the background. Okay, so it generated the DRF structure and the structure for search application, generated structure for data extraction. So like this, we have different types of structures generated for our entity type. Okay, so here we use the main entity, the structure we use is um, this one, or source structure for pp mapping. So mainly we use this source structure for pp mapping we use. Okay, this is the source structure for pp mapping with text, and this is the normal source structure for pp mapping. So these structures we use mainly for all the scenarios. Okay, so whenever you do any you create any data model, or you adjust your data standard data model, then you have to make sure you activate the data model, and then you generate the structures. Okay, so then only the backend structures and the backend staging tables will be adjusted with the changes you made to your data model. Okay, so like this, you can create your own data model, and you can assign the entity types, attributes, and for the entity types, you can maintain the relationships, and you can generate your staging structures and staging tables. Okay, any doubts here? Okay, so for tomorrow, everyone created a custom data model in your SAP server with um, four different types of entity types. What are the types we have? Four types. You create the entity types and try to maintain relationship between the entity types. And I want for each entity type, for type 1, it should have at least 10 attributes. Okay, and for type 4, um, 5 or maybe 5 attributes, and for type 3 it will be only one, and for type 2 you can maintain your own, but type 2 is not required. Try to create a custom data model with a flex mode is fine, and it should have a type 1 entity, type 3 entity, and type 4 entity. Okay, and in type 1 entity it should have at least 10 attributes, and in type 4 entity at least 5 attributes. Okay, and after that, try to after creating the general normal data model with these details, generate the structures and try to see how it is creating the structures. Okay, and also do the adjust staging, adapt brf, and after that check the staging tables created for your data model. Okay, and once you are done with all of this, uh, try to create the relationship, try to maintain the relationship between your entity types. Okay, or at least one relationship. Okay, so for tomorrow you have to create a custom data model. It's not like just creating, try to understand. If you are stuck at any point, just reach out to your mentor, clarify it, get the clarity, and then create the custom data model, create the entity types, which I told you, like with the 10 or 5 attributes. And after that, generate the structures and see how the structures are getting generated. So, how it is taking the attributes, how it is uh, generating the structures, check it. Like give 2 or 3 fields as key fields, and give 4 fields as required key fields, and try to check how the tables are taking the attributes and that. Okay, so, any doubts? Okay, if no doubts, we are good. I'm stopping the recording.